Well, hello and welcome to the Informed Traveler Podcast, a weekly travel podcast where our goal is to help you become a more informed traveler. And I'm your host, Randy Sharman. This week's podcast is all about Los Angeles, as we just returned from the LA area after attending the annual IPW conference hosted by Discover LA, the U.S. Travel Association, and Brand USA. Now, it's a travel conference held every year, attended by various buyers and international media who meet up with destination reps from all over the United States. Call it speed dating for the travel industry. It's a big show and a big deal for the U.S. destinations, as over 5,700 delegates attended this year's event. And as one of the 600 or so international travel journalists that attended this year's showcase, we were treated to a variety of events. The conference kicks off every year with a media brunch, followed by a number of tours that we can choose from. This year's brunch was held at the Getty Museum, known for its brilliant displays of art. And our tour afterwards was a historical walking tour of downtown Pasadena, which featured various sites such as the Old City Hall and other landmarks, including areas where the TV show Big Bang Theory was filmed. And did I mention it was a food tour as well? It was. We were treated to Mexican tapas, Venezuelan empanadas, as well as chocolate and wine samples from local restaurants. All in all, it was a very enjoyable way to start the day and our visit. After our tour, we were transported back to our hotel to rest up for the evening's opening night festivities, where it seems the current host city tries to one-up the party held by the previous year's host city. The venue for the night was LA's Memorial Coliseum, where we were treated to a variety of treats and food, capped off by a stunning performance by Diana Ross. It was a really fun night. Now, for the media, IPW is mostly made up of attending press conferences on the mornings of days 2 and 3, coupled with personal one-on-one meetings with destination reps who would like to work with you or you work with them. But there is some free time, and that's when we decided to explore the LA area. Now, it's said that LA is made up of different neighborhoods, and one neighborhood we decided to venture out to was Santa Monica, home to the famous Santa Monica Pier. But prior to that, I was lucky enough to sit down with Michelle Cassidy from Santa Monica Tourism to learn a little bit about the area and the famous Santa Monica Pier.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. It's kind of busy, kind of noisy here at IPW or the Media Marketplace, but we are planning an afternoon trip to Santa Monica, so be my tour guide for an afternoon.
Amazing. So, Santa Monica is 8.3 square miles with 8 different neighborhoods. And I know you said you're going to be traveling with your family. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So you're definitely going to want to head to 3rd Street Promenade in downtown Santa Monica and see all of the new businesses that have popped up, including the Nike flagship store and the new Wilson athletic store, in addition to Pickle Pop, which is a boutique pickleball store and court, indoor court. And then you'll also see all of the street performers and just amazing buzzing activity happening along 3rd Street. And then also, of course, you'll want to head to the pier.
Yeah, everybody sees that iconic picture of the Ferris wheel of the Santa Monica Pier, right?
Yeah, so our Ferris wheel, the Pacific Wheel, is actually a solar-powered Ferris wheel. So you will definitely want to take a ride on that and feel good about being sustainable. Some fun facts about the pier, too. Yep. It's also the official ending point of Route 66.
Oh.
And Route 66 is actually going to celebrate its centennial in 2026. So it'll be 100 years old.
Yeah.
So with your family, be sure to grab some photos, snag a selfie, and over the next few months, you'll be hearing a lot of exciting buzz around Route 66 and everything that'll be happening in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
And then also some other fun stuff that's happening. We have currently 400 restaurants in Santa Monica, so you can find literally just about any type of cuisine to dine with your family. We have over 700 stores, and some activities that you can do that I really love is renting a bike. You can rent a bike in downtown, and you can ride the Marvin Broad Trail with your family. So that goes all the way from Pacific Palisades through Santa Monica along our 3.2 miles of coastline, and you could even be super ambitious and ride the full 22 miles and go all the way down to Torrance Beach. But you may not want to do that, and you can just ride your bike around the city because we have a ton of protected bike lanes, and I believe 30 miles of protected bike lanes at this point.
Well, it sounds like unfortunately, we'll probably only be there for a half a day, so we won't get to see everything. But I think if you're there for 2 or 3 days, that would be suffice to not eat in all 400 restaurants, but you could get a good feel for it. So tell me about some of the accommodations around that area.
Yeah, so we currently have 40 hotel properties, and around downtown and Ocean Avenue, the area is going through what we're calling a renaissance. So the Georgian Hotel had a full renovation. The Pierside Hotel just opened last year, and we're excited to welcome the Sanborn Santa Monica, officially opening on May 29th. It'll be part of the Marriott Autograph Collection, and it'll be a full dining program led by Chef Rafael Lunetta, who is a Santa Monica local and a legend. And then also this year in that area, we'll be welcoming the Regent Santa Monica, which will be one of, I believe, first Regent properties in North America in over 15 years. So that whole area is feeling so much buzz and excitement, and we're just so excited for Santa Monica to really come back to life.
Yeah. Now, apart from the solar-powered Ferris wheel, is there really any other attractions like rides or anything like that?
So at Pacific Park, there is a roller coaster, there's an arcade, there's a bunch of fun, like classic pier style and carnival style rides, because the Santa Monica Pier is really one of those original West Coast pleasure piers. Yep. And along our coast, we used to have a bunch of them, and it is the last remaining one in Los Angeles that really has that pleasure pier feel. Yeah. Super family friendly. And another fun fact, the pier itself is turning 115 years old this year. Okay. So we have a lot of big anniversaries and birthdays for the city.
Now, what about tickets? Like, how do I get a ticket for the Ferris wheel or rides? Is there like a one kind of a wristband type of thing? How does that work?
So Pacific Park at the pier is great because you don't need admission. Okay. You can just walk on in, and you can buy a wristband to go on all the rides and attractions, or you can just buy one. Okay. So you can really kind of take it as it goes, see what the family's feeling, and then enjoy your full afternoon there.
Absolutely. Now, if I wanted to go to the beach, is there change facilities or anything like that?
There are restrooms up and down. Okay. There's restrooms on the pier. There's restrooms along the boardwalk. Okay.
So if you wanted to go to the beach, you could, and it's no big deal.
I mean, it's a hop and a skip.
Oh, yeah. Give me one insider tip that I should know.
I think an insider tip is that Santa Monica is really the perfect car-free city to travel with your family. Nice. So we're only 8.3 square miles, so you can walk, you can ride bikes, you can take our circuit shuttle, which is free. Okay. You can download the app on your phone, and that is also an EV. No emissions. And we also have 3 Metro light rail stops in Santa Monica, one that stops right in downtown, and 2 additional ones. And you can also take that up into downtown Los Angeles, branch off into Universal Studios, and connect to the rest of the region. So that is my tip.
Perfect. That's a good tip. Michelle Cassidy with Santa Monica Travel and Tourism. I appreciate your time. I know it's very busy for you.
Thank you so much, and we're so excited to welcome you this week.
By the way, if you want to see a visual of our afternoon at the Santa Monica Pier, go to our website at theinformedtraveler.org or just visit our Instagram or Facebook pages. So while we were at IPW, we stayed at the Intercontinental downtown Los Angeles, conveniently located about 4 blocks from the LA Convention Center, where the conference was being held. And while they offered shuttles from the hotel to the convention center, it was only about a 15-minute walk. Now, if you've never stayed at the Intercontinental downtown Los Angeles, let me tell you, it is a massive hotel comprised of 73 stories, holding 889 guest rooms, and it's easily spotted from the many images and videos of downtown Los Angeles. And what's unique about it, depending on where your room is located, you need to take an elevator to the 70th floor, where there is a secondary hotel lobby. And from there, you transfer to another elevator that takes you to your room floor. For us, we were staying on the 60th floor, so we needed to take the main elevator to the 70th floor, then transfer to another elevator and travel down to the 60th floor. Let me say, it does take a bit of getting used to, but the views are spectacular. There's even a rooftop patio so you can sit, have a cocktail, and enjoy those views. So once the conference was over, we actually stayed in the Los Angeles area for a couple of days, thanks to the folks from Booking.com. We ended up moving out of downtown LA and heading over to West Hollywood and spent a couple of nights at the Short Stories Hotel. And it was quite a contrast going from a massive high-rise hotel to the much quieter and smaller boutique-style hotel. Here, we only had to walk up one flight of stairs to our room. The first thing that comes to mind when you think of the Short Stories Hotel is the name, Short Stories. And I was hoping to find out by talking with one of the hotel representatives, but we couldn't quite coordinate our schedules on our short stay, so we'll have to save that for a future podcast. What I can tell you is the location is very convenient for shopping and dining, with many venues within walking distance or a short drive away. In fact, located right across the street is CBS Studios and Television City, and a local farmers market is only half a block the other direction. And best of all, Short Stories is only about a 10-minute drive from Hollywood Boulevard and all the attractions of the famous Hollywood Walk of Fame. One of those attractions was Madame Tussauds Hollywood, and it was there that we spent about an hour or so walking through, visiting and posing with some of Hollywood's iconic stars and characters. It really is a fun visit, and it's fascinating how they put it all together. While there, I was very fortunate to chat for a few minutes with the marketing coordinator for Madame Tussauds Hollywood, Jonathan Keys. We just did the tour of Madame Tussauds Hollywood. It's fabulous. Who is Madame Tussauds and how did it become where it is now?
Yes, so Madame Tussauds is Marie Tussauds, the one and only. She was born in the 1800s. That's where she grew up, 1800s France. She created this empire by she first started with death masks. She started to create those, then that ultimately formed into creating waxworks of people. She opened Madame Tussauds London, which is still there today. That's our flagship location, and now we have over 23 locations throughout the world.
It's pretty amazing. I remember as a kid seeing Madame Tussauds, and it really is world famous, isn't it? Like, it's unbelievable.
It is. It's everywhere. We are the only celebrity-endorsed wax museum, so we get a chance to work with the celebrities. We do what's called a sitting, where they take over 200 measurements from head to toe, and they get a whole bunch of photos taken of them, and that is ultimately helped in the sculptors and creators of the wax figures to create the figures that you get to see. And then the celebrities stand by the wax figure, they take photos next to it, they take selfies with it, and it's a really cool process.
It is a cool process. I think that's probably the closest I'll ever get to all these celebrities. But you have different categories. There's music and the Hollywood history and Marvel and all those characters, right? So it really is quite a display.
Yeah, we have different themes for different rooms in our attraction. We have an A-list area where you have your contemporary actors and actresses, and then you get to go to old Hollywood and kind of like the history of Hollywood, and we have other different sections like horror and music and blockbuster era. So you get to really experience a whole bunch of different things when you come into the attraction, and each attraction is kind of based off of and themed towards the city that it's in. So here we have a lot of movies, we have a lot of obviously Hollywood versus if you go to Madame Tussauds Las Vegas, they have after hours and they have more of like a bar setup. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
And I would imagine if you're in Madame Tussauds London, you see a lot of royalty and those things.
Exactly. Yeah, they have a whole set dedicated to the royal family, and that's where a lot of the royal figures get debuted and everything. So each city gets its own tailoring towards the history of it and what people want to see in that city.
How do you decide who is going to be a figure?
So we have an extensive selection process, and first we decide, okay, yeah, who are we in need of, or who are we missing from the attraction? Who do we want to have? Yeah. And then from there, it's also a thing of like who is on top right now? Who's on top of their game, or who's on the come up? Which stars are possibly gonna be up there in like 1 or 2 years? So it's tough, but I think we've made really good decisions, especially for the ones that are coming up that we're going to be releasing this year and next. But it's a long process, and we also take into account suggestions as well. Okay. So people who are coming into the attraction, at the end they can take a little survey, and from there one of the questions is, who would you like to see next? What wax figure would you like to see next? Yeah. And we can compile some of those suggestions, and that sometimes informs who we want to reach out to, and who will get their next wax figure.
And it's not like the timing has to be pretty good, because it's not like you create one of these wax figures tomorrow. Like, it takes a long time.
Right. It takes about 6 to 9 months to create one wax figure. We start with the sitting, like I mentioned, and then it's all about, okay, because celebrities are busy. We know they have busy schedules. They're filming, they're recording, whatever they're doing. So we have to make sure we lock them in. The sitting lasts about 4 to 6 hours. And then from there, they're done. We do everything after that, and then they come back 6 to 9 months later for their reveal, their side by side.
Has anybody said no?
Unfortunately, people do say no sometimes, whether it be because they're not interested in a wax figure, or the timing might not work out. Sometimes in those cases, we'll reach back out to them and say, hey, how about now? Would you like a wax figure now? And a lot of times it does work. A lot of times the timing's not right. But we ask them again, and they come around. So. Yeah.
Have you had to remove any figures over time because of controversy, or something has changed, or the public's perception of that person has changed?
Yes, sometimes that does happen. A lot of times figures do get retired, so to speak, for various reasons, where a lot of times it's the times as we know do change. So with that, we have to evolve with the times. We have to retire someone and their figure, we'll move them off the floor.
Retire is a good word. And the tour itself, it's pretty much, you can go at your own pace. You can do it within an hour, or you can take 3 hours, right?
Yeah, you can spend as much time as you like here. Here at the Hollywood location, people typically spend about 45 minutes to an hour here, and that's the perfect amount of time. You can add on whatever you want to do as well. We have our Marvel 4D show, where you get to experience an adventure with the Marvel superheroes in 4D. We also have our Robot Riot 7D ride / game, where you get to defeat the alien robots. You can also make a wax hand too. You get your own cast of your hands, so you get to take home part of the process from your visit.
It's all a bunch of fun. It's an afternoon of fun. So we had a great time. We appreciate you having us here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Jonathan Keys is the marketing coordinator for Madame Tussauds Hollywood. Thank you so much again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
If you want to find out more about Madame Tussauds Hollywood, you can check their website at madametussauds.com. Now, one of the problems you run into when you visit an area like Los Angeles is there's just too much to see in the short time that you're there. There's museums like the Warner Brothers Museum, the Academy Awards Museum, the Grammy Museum, Peterson's Auto Museum, the Observatory. The list goes on and on and on. And like I mentioned, there's the famous Hollywood Boulevard and all it has to offer, plus the shopping, and of course, none other than Universal Studios, which we chose to visit on our final day in LA. Universal Studios Hollywood is celebrating their 60th anniversary this year, by the way, and some of their new attractions include Super Nintendo World Land, featuring the Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge ride, the Secret Life of Pets Off the Leash ride, and updated Jurassic World ride, not to mention all the other attractions they have to offer. Now, one of the things I learned over the past few years attending IPW is that getting an interview with someone can be a tricky affair, especially one from an attraction as popular as Universal Studios Hollywood. So again, we'll save that for a future podcast. But if a picture says 1,000 words, we've got 1,000,000 of them on our short video from our visit at Universal Studios Hollywood. Again, go to our website, click on our 1-minute travel bit video page, or you can see it on our Instagram or Facebook pages. So that is our podcast this week from Los Angeles. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact me by email at randy@theinformedtraveler.org or visit our contact page at theinformedtraveler.org. We want to send a special thanks to Booking.com for providing our accommodations at the Short Stories Hotel in West Hollywood and to Universal Studios Hollywood as well. And that is our show for this week. If you have comments or questions, we'd love to hear from you. If you have a show idea, send that along as well. My email is randy@theinformedtraveler.org. And if you like what you heard, tell a friend. You can check out our website too at theinformedtraveler.org. In the meantime, thanks for listening, travel safe, and be an informed traveler.